Alright, old school NBA fans, self-research, NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. I want to give a special thanks to G, the Great One. Thanks a lot, my man, for your consistent support of this channel, and the super thanks. It is much appreciated. And this video here is by request. I said I was going to do either 2009 or 2010 MVP. And I got to be honest, 2010, I just don't see anybody other than LeBron James winning that one. I tried to make some kind of a case for another player. I just couldn't. It was LeBron. That was one he probably deserved. That one in probably 2013, although it's hard when you have such a loaded roster to give it to him. Those would be the two for sure. 2012, I never thought so. I thought Tony Parker and Kevin Durant should have finished 1-2. You can pick any order, but not LeBron. And 2009 is a very interesting one indeed. Very interesting. So let's take a look. 2009 MVP. LeBron James won it. He had 109 first place votes. Yeah, he ran away with the votes. I'm guessing because they had the best record, and this was the guy they were anointing as the next Michael Jordan. Kobe came in second place, even though he only had 2 first place votes. Dwayne Wade was third with 7 first place votes. Dwight Howard was fourth with 1 first place vote. And Chris Paul was fifth with 2 first place votes. Cleveland Cavaliers were 66-16. The Lakers 65-17. Dwayne Wade 43-39. The Miami. Dwight Howard in Orlando, they were 59-23. Chris Paul and the Hornets, they were 49-33. Now, all 5 of the major stat categories, the leader is among these 5 players. In points, it was Dwayne Wade at 30.2. In rebounds, it was Dwight Howard at 13.8. In assists, it was Chris Paul at 11. Steals, Chris Paul at 2.4. And blocks, 2.9, Dwight Howard. Each one, Paul and Howard, won multiple league leader in stat categories. There's only been 16 players to ever do that. But interestingly enough, Dwight Howard also led the NBA in offensive rebounds. That's a big one. All right, something I wanted to look at was where did each one of these players rank in points per game at their position? So LeBron James was the highest scoring forward in the NBA. Kobe Bryant was the second highest scoring guard behind Dwayne Wade, who was first. Dwight Howard was the third highest scoring center in the NBA. And Chris Paul was the fourth highest scoring guard in the NBA. The reason I wanted to look at that was because a lot of the voters, I feel, they gave Dwight Howard Defensive Player of the Year. And I think that automatically disqualified him from the MVP. I thought that's a big mistake. The only centers who scored higher than Dwight Howard was Chris Bosh and Al Jefferson. In the whole NBA, that was it. Dwight Howard was not Ben Wallace or Dennis Rodman. This guy averaged 20.6 points per game. All right, two-way players. All of them were good. LeBron was first team All-NBA. He was number 1 in the voting for All-NBA. Not surprising because he was number 1 for MVP. Kobe Bryant was first team All-NBA. He was second in the voting for All-NBA. Dwayne Wade, he was first team All-NBA. He finished 4th in All-NBA voting. Dwight Howard was first team All-NBA. He came in 3rd in All-NBA voting. Chris Paul was second team All-NBA. He was 6th in the All-NBA voting. All-Defense. LeBron James was first team All-Defense. He was 3rd in the All-Defense voting. Kobe was first team, 2nd in the voting. Dwayne Wade was second team All-Defense. He was 6th in the voting. Dwight Howard, he was first team All-Defense and 1st in the voting. Chris Paul was first team All-Defense, 4th in the voting. So these are obviously high-level two-way players, all of them. But then if you look at Defensive Player of the Year, which is a different set of voters, they also got Dwight Howard, number 1 for Defensive Player of the Year. They got LeBron 2nd, Dwayne Wade 3rd, Chris Paul was 6th, and Kobe was 7th. It's always funny to me how these guys sometimes are a little bit far apart. You know, the 2013 freak out about, oh my God, Marc Gasol, he was second team All-Defense and he won Defensive Player of the Year. LeBron got shafted. That's not the first time that's happened. happened to Alvin Robertson, it happened to Tyson Chandler, and it happened one other time. I just can't think of it, but there's 4 times that a player who finished second team all defense won Defensive Player of the Year. 4 times. All right, somebody suggested when I did the 2006 MVP, what about head-to-head? And this one is very interesting. So LeBron James in head-to-head against the Lakers, they were 0-2. Against Miami, 3-1. Against Orlando, 1-2. And against New Orleans, 3-0. That's a total of 7-5. Kobe and the Lakers, 2-0 against Cleveland, 1-1 against Miami, 0-2 against Orlando, 3-1 against New Orleans. That's 6-4. Dwayne Wade in Miami, 1-3 against Cleveland, 1-1 against the Lakers, 1-3 against Orlando, 0-2 against New Orleans, 3-9 overall record. Dwight Howard and Orlando, they were 2-1 against Cleveland, 2-0 against the Lakers, 3-1 against Miami, 1-1 against New Orleans. They were 8-3, far and away the best record on here. And then Chris Paul and New Orleans, they were 0-3 against Cleveland, 1-3 against the Lakers, 2-0 against Miami, 1-1 against Orlando, total of 4-7 record. So Dwight Howard did the best in head-to-head. All right, now we got to look at competition. What conference did they play in? Well, this was kind of an unusual year. Now, a lot of people say how much better the West was than the East during this time. I agree, but not fully. Not in 2009. I do not agree fully on that. In the East, in the Atlantic Division, Boston was 62-20. You got Philly at 500. 3 other teams below 500. So Boston's the only team with a winning record in the whole Atlantic Division. In the Central, same thing for Cleveland. They're the only team in their division over 500. You got Chicago at 500, and then 3 teams under 500. The Southeast was actually the toughest division in the East. Orlando was 59-23, Atlanta 47-35, Miami 43-39, and then you had Charlotte 35 wins, and then Washington at 19-63. But top to bottom, the Southeast division was the toughest one in the East. In the West, the Northwest division, Denver won 54 games, Portland won 54 games, Utah won 48 games. Minnesota was 24 wins, OKC 23 wins. In the Pacific, the Lakers won 65 games, Phoenix won 46, and then you got Golden State, Clippers, and Sacramento, 29 wins or less. Southwest Division, which was probably the best division in the NBA. I don't see how it wasn't. San Antonio, 54-win team. Houston, 53-win team. Dallas, a 50-win team. New Orleans, a 49-win team. And Memphis, 24-58. That's the best division in the NBA. Now, when you look at the top teams, the West is better. They got 65-win Lakers. They got 54-win Denver, 54-win Portland, 54-win San Antonio, 53-win Houston, 50-win Dallas, 49-win New Orleans. 8 teams of 48 wins or more in the West. You look in the East, they got 3. Boston, Cleveland, Orlando. 3 teams, 48 wins or better. However, that's at the top. When you look at the bottom, the East was better. In the West, there was 6 teams with under 30 wins. In the East, only 1. So you got to say the East was better top to bottom, but the top definitely was better in the West. So I don't know, all things considered, I would still maybe slightly give it to the West, but it's really close in this particular year. So now let's look at the team and the roster. Cleveland Cavaliers, they were 66-16. They were 39-2 at home and 26-4 against the West because they feasted on those bad West teams. The number 1 net rated team, 4th rated offense, 3rd rated defense. That's all great. Now, you look at the roster. You got Mo Williams, 18.3 points per game. Delonte West giving you 11.7. Ilgauskas, 12.9. Daniel Gibson, 7.8. Zerbiak giving you 7. You got Pavlovich giving you 4.6. Ben Wallace only giving you 2.9. Joe Smith, 6.5. Varejão's 8.6. That's your top 10 players, including LeBron James. Now, what they had was some snipers on that team. I mean, wow. They had some 3-point snipers. You got Mo Williams at 43.6 from 3. Delonte West, 39.9. Ilgauskas, 38.5. Daniel Gibson, 38.2. Wally Szczerbiak, 41.1. Pavlovich, 41. I mean, it didn't matter what wave of guards you brought out there. All these guys can hit the three ball. And then the other part of the supporting cast up front, you got Ilgauskas, who is giving you about 13 points, 7.5 rebounds. Joe Smith, 6.5, about 5 rebounds. Varejao, 8.6 points, 7.2 rebounds. But these guys were all rotating players. You had Joe Smith, Ben Wallace, Anderson Varejao, and Ilgauskas, those four rotating up front a lot. And then you had the guards, Mo Williams, Delonte West, Daniel Gibson, Wally Szczerbiak, and Sasha Pavlovich rotating out of the guard spot. The only player that made any kind of all-league or whatever was Mo Williams made all-star. Okay. However, in these players' career, half the guys on this team made at least some kind of all-league. The clutch media will have you believe it was a bunch of bums with LeBron James. Whoa, 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 whoa. And these guys were not 36, 38, not at all. Mo Williams made all-star that year. That was his only one, but he still made all-star. Ilgauskas, two-time All-Star. Wally Szczerbiak, a one-time All-Star. Ben Wallace, he made 5-time All-NBA, 6-time All-Defense, 4-time All-Star. What is he, a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year? And Anderson Varejao made All-Defense one year. 5 of the top 10 players in minutes played at least got some kind of All-League at some point of their career. These are not bums. Far from it, actually. You know, in the 1996 to 98 Bulls, only Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman ever made all-league on that team. And Ron Harper was like 33 to 35 years old. Steve Kerr was in his 30s. I mean, you had prime Kukoc, prime Longley, but they never made all-league. Randy Brown, Judd Bushler, all these other guys that now all of a sudden, they were amazing role players. Like, yeah, they actually weren't. They were just guys. Like Scott Burrell. They're just guys. Nothing special. So I think this is a 3-player race. It's LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and Dwight Howard. Dwayne Wade won 43 games. He had a very good season. His individual stats were better than LeBron James's. Absolutely. He had more points, more assists, more steals, more blocks than LeBron did. But 43 wins just is not going to cut it. I couldn't give it to Kobe winning 45 games. There's no reason to give it to Dwayne Wade for winning 43. So now let's look at the Lakers. The Lakers were 65-17, the third net-rated team, third-rated offense, sixth-rated defense. They had Pau Gasol giving you 18.9 points per game and 9.6 rebounds. He was an all-star and made third-team All-NBA that year. Andrew Bynum giving you 14.3 points, 8 rebounds. Lamar Odom, 11.3 points, 8.2 rebounds. And those were the guys up front. Now, they had other players like Luke Walton. I think he was averaging like 5 points a game, but he didn't play that many minutes, so I didn't even include him. In the backcourt, wing players, you got Derek Fisher at 9.9 points, 2.3 rebounds. He was shooting 39.7 from 3. That's good. Trevor Ariza, 8.9 points, 4.3 rebounds, 31.9 from 3. Jordan Farmar, 6.4 points, 1.8 rebounds, 33.6. I'd say, yeah, Fisher was a really good three-point shooter, but the other guys were below average. And that year, only Pau Gasol made all-league on the Lakers other than Kobe. For their careers, yeah, Pau Gasol, he made multiple All-Stars, multiple All-NBA. He made the Hall of Fame. Andrew Bynum, 1 year, made All-Star and All-NBA. But no other player on the Lakers did. Only 3 on that roster. So the best way to look at it so far is I would say the Lakers were better up front, but not by a mile, but they were better up front. And the guards, I would say all things considered because of the depth, Cleveland was better. Mo Williams had a better year than anybody in the backcourt on the Lakers, aside from Kobe, obviously, or a wing player. Now, let's take a look at Orlando. What did they have? Orlando was 59-23, the 4th net-rated team. They were 11th rated offense, the number 1 defense in the NBA. They had Hedo Turkoglu giving you 16.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, shooting 35.6 from 3. Rashard Lewis, 17.7 points, 5.7 rebounds, 39.7 from 3. Jameer Nelson, 16.7 points, 5.4 assists, 45.3 from 3. That's awesome shooting. Rafer Alston, 12 points, 5.1 assists, 31.7 from 3. Courtney Lee, 8.4 points, 40.4 from 3. Michael Petras, 9.4 points, 35.9 from 3. Keith Bogans, 5.3 points, 33.3 from 3. Anthony Johnson, 5.3 points, 39.1 from 3. And JJ Redick, 6 points, 37.4 from 3. So obviously Dwight Howard's the center, but as far as the forwards go, Rashard Lewis made All-Star and Jameer Nelson made All-Star, but yes, he missed half the season. I would say all things considered, it's very close between the three rosters. There's not one that's clearly the best and not one that's clearly the worst. They're all three very comparable. Now, one thing I find very interesting, actually, is the fact that the Lakers against Orlando, Boston, and Cleveland were 4-2 versus the top 3 teams in the NBA from the Lakers' perspective. The 4 best was Cleveland, Orlando, Boston, and the Lakers. So for the Lakers, those are the 3 best teams. They were 4-2. Cleveland, they were 3-6 versus the Lakers, Orlando, and Boston. So the very best 3 teams, they were 3-6. They're great at beating up on the average and bad teams, but against the good teams, not so much. And to me, that matters. Now, I think this is a very close race. No matter what anybody says who thinks that one guy or another is easily should have won it or whatever, it is not easy. All 3 guys have a solid case here. Dwight Howard, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James. No question. I thought Dwight Howard might have had a case. He's got a strong case for MVP. But I think because he won Defensive Player of the Year, the voters paid him no mind for MVP when they should have been looking closer to Dwight Howard. I got one more little criteria here to show you, and you tell me if this means anything. I think it's kind of telling. It's not huge, but it is important in my mind. So Cleveland with Zydrunas Ilgauskas on the team, he missed 17 games. Each one of these teams had a key player miss some length of time. Cleveland with Ilgauskas, they were 55-10. That's awesome. Without Ilgauskas, they were 11-6. So with him, they have an .846 winning percentage. Without Ilgauskas, it drops down to .647. That's a big drop. The projection they would have been without Ilgauskas. Now I realize that's not probably what would have happened, but the projection says they would have been 53-29 without Ilgauskas. That's what it says. So that kind of throws into question the value of LeBron James a little bit. Now the Lakers, Andrew Bynum missed 32 games. He played 50. With Andrew Bynum, they were 40-10. That's awesome. An .800 winning percentage. Without Bynum, they were 25-7, .781. It just dropped down a little bit. They would have been projected to be a 64-win team instead of a 65-win team. Now, I understand these aren't humongous sample sizes, but this one's actually bigger. That's 3/8 of the year right there. And then Orlando with Jameer Nelson. With Nelson, they were 32-10, .761 winning percentage. Without him, they were 27-13, a .675. Yes, it does drop. However, Orlando was on pace, and they played half the year without Nelson, 40 games. They were on pace to go 56-26. That's only 3 games worse. The Lakers would have got 1 game worse, where Cleveland would have got 13 games worse. So you can go by any metric you want. You can go by stats, you can go by record, go by the conference, the supporting cast, all this stuff. You should take it all in. I went over this long and hard, and I got to be honest, I don't know. The one thing I know for sure is Chris Paul, they finished 4th in their division. So right there, he should probably not win the MVP. He did have a good year, though, but I would still say he's 5th right where he finished. No problem. I think Dwayne Wade at 3rd was too high based on the 43 win total. I think he is 4th. But any of the other 3, there's really nobody that can argue against it. It's so close. But I think because how the Lakers did without Andrew Bynum versus how Cleveland did without Ilgauskas, I give Kobe a slight edge. They only lost one less game than Cleveland did. One. And they definitely were in the better conference, and they beat the better teams, and Cleveland didn't. They struggled against Boston, Orlando, and the Lakers. So I'm going LeBron James third. I mean, look, you could put LeBron James 1, 2, or 3, and it's fine. Really, there's a case for it. So I can't argue against it. If you think LeBron should have won it, that's fine. But for me, the two things that stood out was how they did with Augustus was gone, which was not very good at all compared to how they did with him, and how they did against the best teams in the league. Those two things is what brought LeBron down for me. I got Kobe second. I'm sorry. I thought Kobe had maybe a slightly better supporting cast. Orlando beat the Lakers both times in the regular season. Now, they were only a 59-win team, but they lost Jameer Nelson. With Jameer Nelson, they would have had him the whole year. They were on pace to win about 62 games. So I'm just saying, I don't know. I just think Dwight Howard, who held that team together without Jameer Nelson, the best defensive player in the NBA, bar none, led the league in rebounds, led the league in blocks, led the league in offensive rebounds. You lose your all-star point guard for half the season, and still you win 59 games. You sweep the Lakers 2-0, and you go 2-1 against Cleveland. I'm going Dwight Howard. And look, Kobe could win it too. I mean, if you said, well, I think Kobe should get it, the record was better, that's fine. No argument here. And I'm not even going to argue about LeBron either. Any one of these three guys could have won it. It is not clear LeBron should have won it in 2009. That I know for sure. But it's not clear about Kobe or Dwight Howard either. I just think, all things considered, Dwight Howard was a hair more valuable than LeBron James or Kobe Bryant in 2009. There you go. And believe me, I was being objective. I didn't even do 2010 because I'm just saying flat out, no, LeBron should have won the 2010 MVP. I went through it. There was no case for anyone else. LeBron absolutely deserved the 2010 MVP. And you can make your argument against it. That's fine. I'm standing behind it, though. LeBron deserved 2010, no doubt. 2009, different story altogether. So Thanos snap feminism, I hope this was okay. I mean, this is what I came up with. I mean, I agreed to do it, and I said I'd be objective. Hope I didn't let you down. This is what I came up with. So anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, that would be great. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I give daily content, and that's it. Until next time.